Welcome to the Adjunct CEO Podcast with your host, the Adjunct CEO, Dean Akers. Tips, ideas, and interviews with top leaders to help you and your business when results matter.
Well, welcome to today's show. We got a lot of cool stuff today. I think it's going to help our teams out there really get some production they wanted. Over the last couple of weeks, I've asked people to give me their feedback and where they really want help. And probably the number one area is sales, growing their companies, and number two is leadership, retaining and getting great people. Today, we're going to talk about sales, and I'm going to give you guys a tip today that has worked 100% of the time over the last 20 years, 30, 40 years with me, and a lot of my ninjas out there know how to do it. And we're going to talk about it today. But before I go there, I just wanted to remind everybody that the customer presentation close protector is still available. Just go online to dean@deanakers.com or help@deanakers.com, and we'll get one of these out to you. They're a hoot. They really are setting some tempos for folks to understand how to ask questions and avoid puking all over their customers in presentations. So make sure and reach out for that. But today we're going to talk about getting your customers and how to really create what we call customer value lists. I meet with companies all the time, and they'll sit there and tell me how competitive their business is, or they're going to go expand somewhere because there's more business somewhere else. And when we do this customer value analysis, it's always eye-opening. And so the first step you want to do is take your existing customers that you have and determine what their DNA is. What do they look like? If you're in the retail space, it could be ages, it could be socioeconomic or whatever. If you're in a space, let's say you're a CPA firm, and you say, well, we do audits, and we go back and we look at your top 20 or 30% of your clients that bring in the most money, and we find out like they're all in healthcare, or they're all in healthcare and manufacturing, so you have two segments. So as you start dialing that in, it helps you build this customer value list that we're going to talk about today. And it's, and like I keep reiterating to everybody, it's just math. It's just math. So once you get that, you want to then set up your market by identity, and you're going to create a customer value list. That customer value list is what we have on the screen, and this is available to anybody. I'll make one for you or help you with it. And what it basically does is it allows, as you can see, it allows the person to put their customer in, put the estimated total sales that the customer would do, and then the three contacts that they need to have and what their relationship with them is, which is 1, non-existent almost, up to 10, which is perfect. Then they put in their commission value on how a sale is done, their annual commission they want, $250,000, the total market value of only 12 customers for this hypothetical. By the way, this is a real client, but this is a hypothetical, is $30 million worth of sales value for this customer, and they don't even have all the customers. They actually only have one of them, which is a $500,000 customer. So when you go through this and you put it on, it shows hours that they can work, their annual income rating, and it's just a very powerful tool. So you got to get this list. When I work with clients and we build this list out, it is shocking, because now you know where you can go and spend your time. It gives you the hours that you can spend on a client with the probability by ratios of your relationships to get a client. And when you start doing this, what you're going to find is that there's so much more business out there that you can get just by simply going and calling on the customer. Also, when you get your DNA, your local business journals, and it's all on the internet and stuff. But in the Tampa Bay area, we have the Tampa Bay Business Journal, and they have this book of lists. And it generally has some of the top potential clients that you would be looking for once you've identified your demographics. So now you've identified your customers, you put them on the list. What's funny with these kind of lists and other lists you can buy, it'll tell you their sales. You can extract what your sales should be out of that. And at the end of the day, you're going to come up with a very, very powerful list that's going to show you how many hours you can allocate to that client, how to build the relationship with that client, and what that client is worth to you. When we finish this process, we find companies that think it's competitive or salespeople that say, how do I get more business? Once they've identified this, we find all they got to do is start calling on their customers. When we sit there with these big, high customer values, and we have a high customer value, and I'll say, how well do you know that customer? And they go, well, I've been trying to get an appointment through email. No, get in your car and go ask to meet them. If they're worth $100,000 to you, why would you bank on sending some email or some request to meet with them? Go meet with them and meet 3 people in the company. Who's one of the 3? The receptionist. So you go in, you meet the receptionist. How many salespeople go in and go, is so-and-so here, to the salesperson, to the receptionist? And then they just blow it off, give them a card, and walk out. When I go in and I teach my ninjas, and I ask the receptionist, how long have you been with the company? And he or she'll go, well, I've been here 2 years or 20 years. What we know is if they've been there more than 6 months, guess what we know about that person? They know everything. They know everything. And so I want to get to know them, and I want to know them as one of my 3 to start with to build relationships. 3 to build relationships. So I know what that looks like. And so when I know that, then I'm good to go. So I'm going to create this list that we've talked about. We got the list, and there it is again up on the screen what it looks like. Again, I will make one for any of you that want to. Just reach out to help@deanakers.com, and we'll talk about building this for you and or your companies. Once they're built, it's just math. And you can see on this list, the number 1 account on there, this hypothetical account, was $20 million of what we sell. We had a 1 across the board relationship. Their adjusted customer value is $2 million. The income to the salesperson is $100,000 on an adjusted customer value list. And the salesperson doesn't even know them. So he could allocate 800 hours based on his $250,000 income to close this account with an index of 1. I mean, these numbers are crazy. And once you understand this, it helps your sales team get motivated. It helps you come up with strategies, which in the coming weeks we're going to talk about. How do you do this? How do you get to that $20 million account? But the point is, today, homework for the week. The homework for the week is to create this list of customer values. Create this list of customer values. All the possible customers that can use your product that mirror your existing customers that do use your product. When you get that, we'll be ready to move on. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from a lot of you, and that's help@deanakers.com, help@deanakers.com. Tell me you got the list. Shoot it to me. Let me help you be more successful with this. It never fails, this process. Operative word, never fails. So if you're the owner of a business and you're frustrated with your salespeople, let's get them on the customer value program. Let's teach them how to make a lot of money. Because when your sales folks make a lot of money, you make a lot of money. And remember, you can ask a question, you can discuss any of the topics at help@deanakers.com, or you can go to my website, www.deanakers.com, and find out information. And again, till we see you again next week, get your customer value list going. If you have any questions, reach out to me. This will change your world. If you're a salesperson out there, it's going to massively increase your income. If you're the owner of a business, it'll massively increase your top line sales. And oh, by the way, price will never matter. Have a great week.
Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. If you have any questions or need some help, just email help@adjunctceo.com.